"We can't cancel the trip. The tickets are already paid for," my mother said while I was lying in the ER bed, sweating in pain from acute appendicitis. My father didn't even look at me when he added, "You're 26 years old. Deal with it. You're not a child anymore." How could I explain to them that I had paid every single cent of that $50,000 family vacation? That with just one phone call, I could cancel it all? My name is Eduardo. For my whole life, I was the invisible son, the one who paid for everything, while my parents lived only to spoil my younger sister, Sophia. That night in the hospital, as they prepared me for emergency surgery, I finally understood. I wasn't a son to them. I was an ATM with a heartbeat. It started when I was 15. My father lost his import business because of bad decisions and alcohol. My mother had never worked a day in her life. She was a housewife who spent her days at the beauty salon. Sophia was 10 and already the untouchable princess. "Eduardo has to work," my dad announced one afternoon. "He's the man of the house now. But I have school. You'll study at night. Sophia needs ballet, piano, and painting lessons. Someone has to pay." And so, at 15, I started working bagging groceries after class. Later, at a pizzeria until midnight. My grades dropped, but nobody cared. Sophia needed her $500 ballet dress. I somehow graduated. When I mentioned college, their response was the same. "What for? You already have a job." Sophia is the one who's going to study medicine. My dream of becoming an engineer died right there. I took a factory job, night shifts, so I could earn more. During the day, I secretly took online programming courses whenever I could afford them. By 20, while I came home smelling of grease and exhaustion, Sophia was rejecting universities because they weren't prestigious enough. My parents even sold the car that I had paid for to give her a year-long trip to Europe. "It's an investment in her future," Mom said. "And my future?" I asked. "Your future is taking care of this family. It's your duty as the older brother." That was the year everything changed. With Sophia gone, and her endless expenses temporarily paused, I managed to save. A coworker told me about cryptocurrencies. I studied, I took risks, I invested $200 I had secretly set aside. That $200 turned into $20,000, then into $20,000. Within 2 years, while everyone still saw me as the failed factory worker, I had $500,000 in investments. I told no one. I kept living the same, working the same, being ignored the same. When Sophia came back from Europe, she sneered. "Eduardo smells like sweat. Disgusting." "It's the smell of honest work," I said. "Exactly why I'll never work. That's what stupid men like you are for." My parents laughed. Their princess was so funny. At 24, I made my move. With my savings, I secretly bought the house we lived in. It was about to be seized for my father's debts. I bought it through a shell company, letting them believe a kind investor had saved them. "See, Eduardo?" Dad said. "Sometimes life rewards good people. Not you, but us were blessed." I nodded while signing the papers in my own name. I stayed quiet. I kept working. I kept paying for everything. But now I was the owner of the roof over their heads. 6 months ago, for Sophia's 30th birthday, she demanded a family trip to Cancun. "I want the best hotel, first class, all-inclusive. I deserve it after so much studying." Sophia had been studying for 8 years, failing at everything: medicine, too hard; law, too boring; psychology, too depressing; art, no talent. "Eduardo will pay," Mom declared. "That's what he works for." And I paid. $50,000 for a week of luxury for the 3 of them. At first, I wasn't even included in the reservation. "Someone has to stay and work," Dad explained. But Sophia insisted. "No, he should come. I want him to see what he's missing for being a loser. Besides, someone has to carry the luggage." So thoughtful. I bought my own ticket, same dates, same flight. The trip was set. Until 3 days ago, when the pain started. At first, I ignored it. I was used to ignoring my pain. But it got worse. By midnight Tuesday, I couldn't even stand. I dragged myself to my parents' room. "I think I need a doctor." "Eduardo, it's 2 a.m. Go make some tea," Mom said. "I'm serious. Stop the drama. We leave for the airport in a few hours, and you're not ruining this trip." I left. Called an Uber to the ER by myself. When I got there, I could barely walk. Acute appendicitis. Immediate surgery. From the hospital bed, I called my parents. Appendicitis, Dad said, annoyed. Right now? Really? I need emergency surgery. Eduardo, don't exaggerate. Probably stress. Look, we're leaving for the airport in 3 hours. Dad, I'm serious. Muffled whispers. Then Mom took the phone. Eduardo, we can't cancel. The tickets are paid. The hotel doesn't refund. Sophia is excited. Mom, they're about to operate on me. You're 26, handle it yourself. You're not a child. When we're back in a week, we'll visit you. You're going to leave me alone? Oh, don't be dramatic. It's a simple surgery. Sophia's waiting for breakfast. Take care. And she hung up. I stayed there on the cold hospital bed completely alone. The nurse looked at me with pity. Isn't your family coming? I don't have a family, I replied. And for the first time in my life, it felt true. As they prepped me for surgery, I pulled out my phone. If they were going to abandon me at my most vulnerable moment for a trip I paid for, then they could enjoy the consequences. First call. Hello, this is Eduardo Ramirez. I need to cancel a reservation under my name. Yes, the $50,000 one. The Ramirez family. Cancel everything. Sir, you're just hours away from departure. That's why I paid for premium cancellation insurance. I want a full refund. Second call, the airline. Same story. Canceled tickets, full refund. Third call, my lawyer. Luis, it's Eduardo. Yes, I know what time it is. I need you to finalize the sale of the property on Robles Street 47. Yes, the one where my parents live. The buyer offered cash, right? Accept it. I want everything done while they're on their way to the airport. Eduardo, are you sure? That's where your family lives. Luis, I'm about to go under the knife alone because my family prefers cocktails on a beach. Sell it. Understood. Everything will be finalized tomorrow. I shut off my phone. The anesthesia started kicking in. My last thought was, let them enjoy Cancun, if they can even get there. I woke up hours later. The surgery went well, but there were complications. I'd need to stay hospitalized for several days. Alone but alive. My phone showed 147 missed calls. I started listening to the voicemails. Eduardo, the tickets are canceled. What did you do? The hotel says there's no reservation. We're at the airport. Sophia is crying. You ruined her birthday. Answer, you ungrateful bastard. Eduardo, it's your father. You'd better fix this now or face the consequences. The consequences? I almost laughed, but the stitches hurt too much. The best message came on the third day. Eduardo, we got to the house. There are people moving our things out. They say the house was sold. What did you do? What did you do? I decided to answer a video call. I needed to see their faces. All three of them appeared on screen. Sophia with smeared makeup, my parents pale and frantic. Behind them, boxes and furniture were piled on the sidewalk. You sold our house? My father shouted. My house, I corrected calmly from my hospital bed. I bought it 2 years ago when it was about to be repossessed. Did you never wonder who the mysterious investor was? Silence. Then shock. Then horror. But we lived there, my mother stammered. Lived. Past tense. You can figure things out on your own now. You're adults, not children. You can't do this. We're your family. Family doesn't abandon you on an operating table so they can sip margaritas on the beach. You said it was a simple surgery. Sophia shrieked. No. The doctor said if I'd waited any longer, my appendix would have ruptured. I could have died. But Cancun was more important. We didn't know. You didn't ask. You didn't care. I was just an inconvenience to your vacation plans. Eduardo, please, my father begged. Where are we supposed to live? Not my problem. Sophia is 30 and has never worked a day in her life. You two are grown adults. Figure it out. But we have no money, my mother cried. Strange. Neither did I when you forced me to start working at 15. But I survived. So will you? We'll sue you, Sophia snapped. This is abuse. Go ahead. Tell the judge your millionaire son sold the house out from under you because you abandoned him before emergency surgery. I'm sure that'll win you sympathy. Millionaire, my father whispered. You thought I was still the sweaty factory worker? I've been running multi-million-dollar investments for years. But it was easier for you to see me as an ATM than as a human being. We can fix this, my mother tried again. We're family. No, you're 3 adults who finally have to stop leeching off someone else. I'm a man in a hospital bed who's finally free. What are we supposed to do? Sophia sobbed. Work. It's amazing what you can achieve when you have no other option. I've known that since I was 15. I hung up. The following days were relentless. Relatives calling to guilt me, friends shocked at the scandal, threats of all kinds. I blocked them all. From my hospital bed, cared for better by a nurse than by my own mother, I made decisions. I hired security for my properties, changed my phone number, moved my assets to protected accounts, relocated as soon as I was discharged. A month later, my cousin gave me the updates. My parents were renting a single room. Dad worked night shifts as a guard. Mom cleaned houses. Sophia, the princess, was waiting tables at a roadside diner, her first job ever at age 30. They tried taking out loans, but without credit or collateral, nobody would lend to them. They're furious at you, my cousin said. They say you ruined their lives. No, I replied. I gave them the chance to build one. For the first time in their lives, they have no one left to exploit. Don't you feel anything? Not even guilt. I felt everything alone in that ER bed. Abandonment, pain, loneliness. But guilt for protecting myself? Never. 6 months have passed. My scar healed, a permanent reminder of the price of freedom. My investment business is thriving. I met a woman, Andrea, who values me for who I am, not for what I can provide. And my family? They survive. Just like I survived since I was 15. Just like millions survive when there's no other choice. The difference is I never had a choice. They did. And they chose to leave me. Sometimes I think back to that moment in the ER, begging them to stay. Now, I'm grateful they didn't. Their absence gave me clarity. I was never their son. I was just a stranger with the same blood, paying for the privilege of being ignored. I sold the house I grew up in, but gained a home of my own. I lost a parasitic family, but gained peace of mind. The scar on my abdomen reminds me every day that I've always survived on my own. Only now it's by choice. And that makes all the difference. They say blood is thicker than water, but abandonment is thicker than blood. And when your family leaves you alone on an operating table to sip cocktails on a beach you paid for, you finally realize, sometimes real family is the one you choose to build, not the one you're born into. My appendix nearly killed me, but their indifference saved me. Ironic, isn't it?